So I'd like to talk first about positive body language, positive active listening. Let's talk about body language. When you enter a room, especially if it's in an interview, you need to be smiling. And it can't be a fake smile. You need to smile with your mouth and your eyes. You need to look sincere. When you shake hands with your interviewer, make sure that you are shaking hands with a firm handshake. Enter the office or the conference room with confidence, with your head up and good posture. Be sure to make direct eye contact with the other person, but be sure that you are not staring. You need to remember to blink. Otherwise, if you're staring, again, that really communicates that you're not actively listening. So direct eye contact does not mean staring at the other person. Also, if the other person looks uncomfortable with direct eye contact, you need to give them a break once in a while. You can look at their face. You can look at their chin, their cheeks, their nose, their forehead, anywhere but directly in their eyes. If you can tell they're uncomfortable with that laser beam eye contact, be sure to give them a break, but make sure you stay focusing on their face. You need to use facial expressions to respond appropriately to what the speaker is saying. Nodding your head in agreement at appropriate times when they are sharing ideas or goals or a mission that you agree with. But be careful with head nodding. If you nod too frequently or too consistently, that again will look insincere. When you are seated and you're sitting across from someone who you're having a conversation with, particularly in an interview, you want to lean slightly forward when the other person is speaking. That again demonstrates engagement. Subtly mirror the body language of the interviewer. For example, if the interviewer leans back in his or her chair a bit and relaxes their posture, then you also need to relax your posture slightly. But be careful that it doesn't look like you're parroting their behaviors. Let's talk about some negative body language. Negative body language includes a fake smile, because that looks frozen, it looks fake, and people can see right through that. You need to, again, make sure you smile with your eyes and your mouth so that your smile looks sincere and real. When you shake hands, a limp handshake, a weak handshake, is not a demonstration of your credibility. So you want to make sure that you have a firm handshake. Grasping the speaker's hand with both hands or holding on too long is going to shut them down very quickly. So make sure you don't bring another hand over the other person's hand. Just shake hands and then watch for their cue. If they release their handshake first, then you need to release immediately. Don't stay holding on. But if they hang on for a long time and you release first, you're going to offend that person. So you always let the interviewer guide you on when it's appropriate to release your handshake. Failure to make direct eye contact can also send messages that you may not be a trustworthy person. So again, direct eye contact without staring. Sometimes that speaker or that interviewer is going to look away from you during the conversation. You need to still be looking at that individual because when they come back to meet your eyes, you better still be making eye contact with them. Be sure that you smile in the interview. I tell people all the time, if somebody can't even smile in an interview, they're probably not going to be very pleasant on the job. So make sure that you let your personality and your warmth come through with that smile. Never, ever put your hands in your pockets or behind your back when you're talking to an interviewer. Don't cross your arms across your chest or in your lap. That sends a closed message, a closed posture message that may say, I'm not that interested. Leaning back too far in your chair suggests boredom or overconfidence or even condescension. So be careful that, again, you are mirroring the behaviors of your interviewer. Glancing away briefly while the other person is speaking will insult them immediately. We've all had that happen to us, where you're in a conversation with someone and you're the one talking, and all of a sudden that person glances away to see who's walking past them, who's just walked past the cubicle, who else just came in the room. You glance away while somebody else is speaking, you've insulted them. And again, what you're demonstrating is that you're not very professional. Be very careful during the interview process that you are not doing grooming gestures, that you're not playing with your hair or straightening your jewelry or your necktie, that you're not picking at a fingernail. I actually interviewed a woman recently who was cracking her knuckles during the interview. You cannot be doing these things. They're distracting. They tell that interviewer again that you're not behaving in a professional, appropriate manner. Again, as I mentioned earlier, if you nod your head too much or too vigorously, again, that looks insincere and people assume you're really not listening, you're just pretending to be listening. Abrupt actions such as pointing or aggressive or chopping motions with your hand send a message that, again, I'm not sure I'm going to be comfortable working with this individual. So be aware of your body language, be aware of your facial expressions. If you are sitting there with a real bland expression on your face, you're going to look bored. You're going to look like you really don't care what the interviewer is talking to you about or asking you about. So again, let your personality shine through in your body language. Let it be sincere. Be real. Be you in those interviews. Relax a little bit. Pay attention to what the interviewer is doing and slightly mirror your behaviors to reflect what that person's doing.